Hey guys, for today's video I wanted to do some colorful figure sketches in my sketchbook, but I almost did not finish this. I've mostly been doing portraits and faces in graphite lately, so I really needed to change. I was trying to keep it simple, just 4 poses, and I tried to keep each pose about 20 to 30 minutes each. I was also trying to keep just one color per pose, just to kind of like take the pressure off of making sure I didn't have to pick the right colors. This first one was actually going really great considering I was pretty rusty. Usually I like to do my figure studies on digitally because you can alter them and adjust them so much easier. With pencil and paper, you kind of have no choice but to like erase and redraw, erase and redraw. I also didn't include the reference photos on these only because the references that I use, they're like half naked basically. They're like in their underwear or a bathing suit, and I just don't want to get flagged on YouTube for having, I don't know, inappropriate content. But it is helpful to have reference photos with minimal clothing because then you can really see the anatomy and the form of the poses. And even though I'm using the whole page for these, they're still small enough to where you can't actually worry about putting in too much details, like the hands. So the hands were mostly there for like a gesture or like a movement. I really wasn't worried about like drawing each individual finger or each individual toe. I'm mostly focused on values and shapes and showing that these are three-dimensional. And also, I really just wanted to play with my colored pencils. These are Prismacolor Col-Erase colored pencils, and unlike the Premier colored pencils, these smudge really well. I don't believe that they're as wax-based, so they're not like buttery smooth. They're a little bit harder of a lead, but like I said, you could use your smudge tool on it, and I absolutely love that. The second pose, it was kind of challenging because she was like twisted and facing away, and I never really drawn anybody from this angle before. But I had a blast, and the way that she's facing away, more of her butt is showing, and I think this is the first time that I've drawn a butt like that, and I had more fun with it than I probably should have. The bad thing about it is I don't know, like halfway through this pose, I kind of realized that it would be so cool to have some of the green from this portrait or from this sketch showing on the other pose, like kind of like a reflective light, like they were all glowing. And I don't feel like I executed it in the way that it was kind of showing up in my head, but I stuck with it for just for the sake of like continuity, I guess. And I also kind of struggled with like just how much of her arm was covering up just a little bit of her face, and it was kind of weird to not have that neck as like an anchor point. But I feel like I nailed it okay. The lighting was also a little bit of a struggle. In the reference photo, she was like had a bunch of different reflective lights showing up, like almost like she was like in her dance studio, so that kind of threw me off a little bit, and I decided to go just kind of simplify that lighting. I really tried to focus on just like putting the shadows where they should be, and if anything was really too confusing, I just went back to default, like what would it look like if the light was coming from the top. And as you can see, like with this colored pencil, I'm able to go in actually kind of messily, and as long as I come over it with that smudge tool right on top, it all blended out like a dream. You can see here where I'm adding that purple on top of the green, and I did not think that through. Like I don't know. It just doesn't really look how I thought it was gonna go. This is where it started turning into a freaking nightmare. I started and then I erased. I started and then I erased. I tried doing a different pose to see if that would help me out. It didn't. So I decided to go back to the original pose and just kind of like power through it. And at first what was stopping me was that back arm just was really messing up the silhouette of my sketch, and that was really messing with me. So I decided to restart it, and this last time that I did it, I'm really glad that I did, because that I did end up finishing it, because it ended up not so bad at all. Like I was pretty proud of it. especially for how much I was struggling with it. And like you can see here, I was trying to do a ponytail to try to keep the, the continuity and the rhythm of all the poses, having, that ponytail to really show the movement of the pose. But I ended up going with the hairstyle that the original reference photo had. Number one, because it's space buttons and I freaking love space buttons. But number two, the ponytail just was not working. By the time I got to the last pose, though, I think I was just so tired because I was trying to get everything done in one sitting so that it would feel more cohesive, I guess. But I could not like figure out which pose I wanted to do. I think I tried a few different reference photos, and they all just weren't really matching up with the rest of the poses. I finally settled on one that worked, and I'm really glad that I pushed through because as tired as I was, she ended up really cute. Her face was really cute. The pose is really cute. The only unfortunate thing is her hand placement. Like her right hand ends up like right underneath of the blue one's butt. So what can you do? Another thing that I love about this last reference photo is that she's a plus size model. She's more curvier, and I got to draw all the stuff that I love drawing, like the hip dips and the little chubby rolls. Her little face expression ended up so cute. Like she's smiling and happy. And as much as I love drawing calm, I love drawing happy even more. You can just feel your cheeks like hurting when you're trying to like draw a smile. And that is so fun to me. So for not sketching figures in a while, I'm actually pretty happy with this. I'm really glad that I finished because like I said, I was really doubting myself here. It is so much different than drawing when you're doing digital because when I'm drawing like in Procreate, I can adjust things to fit where I need them. And when I'm drawing on the paper, like here, I'm running out of room to put the hands or, the legs, and it just feels kind of weird to have them crossing over each other. And it also feels weird to have things going off the edge of the paper. It was a little chaotic in the end there in that last half of the game, but they ended up looking really cute and really satisfying seeing them all on the page together here. Anyway, that is it for today. If you guys like what you've seen, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next week.